The Mount Farm World Tour is back again, and this time we'll be delving into the massive amount of mounts we can get from the Shadowlands. Now if you don't know what the Mount Farm World Tour series is, there'll be a link to a playlist in the description down below, but we basically go from continent to continent running through all the various mounts you can get from that place. Before we dive into the various zones themselves, what we are going to do is talk about some of the neutral mounts and how those work before we dive into the ones that come from a specific zone. The first of those that we're going to talk about will be the ones that come from the mission table from the various covenants, and these will be from the adventure missions, and from that we can get the Dark Warren Hardshell, Chittering Animite, Warstitch Darkhound, and Highwind Darkmane. So what you need to do for these mounts is you'll unlock the mission table by throwing some anima and some souls into your covenant. You'll unlock the mission table and then you'll gain access to missions where you can send your followers off, and then they'll either win or lose depending on the mission difficulty and the ones that you send on the mission as well. Now there are special missions that come up called like campaign missions, and as you go through these there'll be like a linear progression, and every once in a while as you progress further you will get mount rewards from these, but they're going to be very difficult. However, there is a kind of cheese method that we can use to make things a little bit easier for ourselves, and that's why I want to mention this now before you dive into the rest of the content. So for this cheese method, what you basically do is get one covenant to 80 renown. It doesn't matter which covenant you get up there. Once it's 80 renown, you will unlock a item on the vendor that's next to the flight path that will allow you to boost the other covenants to 60 renown instantly. And then what we're going to do from there is get an alt character that hasn't really touched any Shadowlands stuff, or if you don't have a character like that, I'd recommend an evoker because you can make those. The intro questline doesn't take very long, and that'll be a Shadowlands ready character. What you'll do is you'll head into Oribos, you'll pick Night Fae as your covenant, you'll head upstairs next to the flight path, you'll buy 4 of the items that boost your renown to 60, you'll head back downstairs again, and now we're going to use that item on Night Fae. We're going to swap covenants, and we're going to use the item on each of the covenants, so the Venthyr, the Necrolords, the Kyrian, and then back to Night Fae. And once you've used that on all of them, you should now have a bunch of these items that will increase your floor experience, and you'll have around 4,000 anima as well. With those items obtained, we want to now continue the Night Fae campaign all the way to the point where you basically are free to do whatever you want. And then you want to unlock your first building, which is going to be the mission table. You don't really need to worry about upgrading the mission table to level 2 or 3. It's not really going to change much. Level 1 is perfectly fine for what we need to do. And then what we'll do is once we've unlocked the mission table, you've got Naya, and you should have these 2 troops that are kind of unnamed. And from there, we don't want to get any more companions, so you should only have Naya and the 2 troops. Next up, we're going to dump all of our XP tomes into Naya, which is going to boost her into like the 50s, and the troops will follow her level as well. So now you're going to have high level Naya plus high level troops, which will make a lot of these missions very trivial. From here, what we do is focus the campaign missions by putting Naya in the center and 4 trappers around her. There's some missions where you may want to put the Grove Tender in there just as an extra healer, but for the most part, 4 trappers should be perfectly fine. And then you'll just do the campaign missions. Whenever there's not a campaign mission, you can do XP missions or anima efficient missions, and then just repeat that until you've got all your mounts from the campaign missions. Nearly less than 1,000 subscribers now until I hit 100,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And once we do hit 100k, I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Epic Edition of The War Within, so you'll get access to the mount, the transmog, the 3-day head start, all that kind of stuff in the best version possible for the game. Not only that, but I will be releasing that spreadsheet I talked about a while ago, where I'll run through 400 of the easiest mounts for you to obtain within the game. Next up, we're going to talk about the Covenant feature mounts. There's going to be 4 mounts that come from the various Covenant features. For example, the Night Fae has their garden where you'll plant seeds and you'll be able to loot the seeds for like a bounty. Or the Kyrian have their kind of like battle arena where you'll fight a mob and you'll get rewards for beating that mob. And there's going to be 4 mounts that can come from all of these covenants and all of their covenant features. It's kind of like a shared mount pool. However, I'm bringing this up now because some of the covenants have a kind of an easier method of obtaining these mounts. So some of the covenants you kind of want to avoid if you want the easier approach. The 4 shared mounts we're going to be able to get will be the Pale Acid Maw, Silver-Tip Dreadwing, Gruesome Flayedwing, and the Dauntless Duskrunner. First up, the Pale Acid Maw, and I'm not going to talk about all their sources for now because I'll cover those specifically for each covenant as we get into their zone. Instead, what I'm going to do is just highlight what I think is the easier method for each of these mounts. So for this one, I think the easier methods are either going to be Kyrian, because all you need to do is complete an achievement called Bare Necessities, which is to do a Trial of Wisdom without equipping any equipment. Very easy to do right now. The scaling's broken and you just do a ton of damage to the mobs in the arena. Once you've done that achievement, you can purchase it for 2,500 anima, anima, and your kind of Covenant building needs to be rank 3, which is reasonable. Or if you like to rely on RNG, you could go Night Fae, and from their kind of seed growing stuff, the Untamed Spirits have a chance of containing the mount. It can be from any spirit quality, but the purple Divined Untamed Spirits are going to give you the better chance of obtaining it. So you want to be planting them whenever possible, but the green and blue seeds can give it as well. However, you will need a rank 5 building for Night Fae because the seed needs to be empowered by 4 Wildseed root grains, which can only be done in one plot once you hit rank 5. So that one is going to be a bit rougher because you're going to need a ton of anima and a ton of souls to actually reach rank 5. Next up is the Silver Tip Dreadwing, and similar to the last, I think Kyrian's probably one of the better ones to do. You just have to do an achievement called Curse of Thirst, which requires you to kill Craven after he's consumed 2 anima blood orbs. And then once again, the mount will be purchasable at 2,500 anima once you hit your build in rank 3. A similar story for Night Fae. If you want to do RNG method, then you can do the Divine Prideful Spirits instead, but once again that will require you to have build in rank 5. And then it is also worth considering Venthyr for this. It used to be that the Ember Court was a weekly lockout, but now it's a daily lockout, so it's a lot faster and a lot easier to do because you can do it daily, which means this mount came from reaching Exalted with the Ember Court, and having to do it weekly obviously would be quite a time gate. Having to do it daily now definitely gets you a lot more reputation faster. The downside is once you do hit Exalted, it will cost 5,000 anima. The upside though is you only need a rank 1 Ember Court to get this done. Next up is the gruesome Flayedwing, and unfortunately there isn't really a good method for this. Kyrian once again should be the better method. The problem is all the colors of the Pain Bow achievement that you need to do is extremely difficult to do as a level 70 because the abilities just don't hit you anymore. So getting the buffs and debuffs that you need to get the achievement done is just very, very difficult. So I wasn't able to do this, but if you are able to complete that achievement, then Kyrian is probably the best method because once again, you do that achievement, you can purchase it for 2,500 anima, and this one only requires build in rank 2, so even easier in that regard. Outside of that, your other options would be doing Night Fae, putting down Martial Spirits, once again the Divine version being the better chance, but you will require a rank 5 building, or you could do Venthyr by bringing the Maldraxxus guest to the Ember Court, so that would be Lady Vash or Alexandros Morgraine, and you do need a build-in rank 3 for this. And once you finish the Ember Court with them and you've made them happy, then at the end you'll have a chance of getting the mount from the box. And then the final shared mount is going to be the Dauntless Dusk Runner, which is going to probably be Kyrian for this, I'd say. It doesn't have an anima cost this time, although you will need a build-in rank 4 for this one. And all you need to do is defeat Azarux, I believe that's pronounced, but on Wisdom difficulty. And once you do that, you'll just get the mount as the reward for doing that. Your other 2 options are going to be throwing down the Divine Dutiful Spirit Seeds. Once again, you can use the other 2 qualities, but the Divine one's going to give you the best chance, and that will require a rank 5 build-in from the Night Fae. Or you can do the Venthyr's Ember Court, and you can invite Bastion guests, which will be Mechanicos and also Pole March. However, this will require a build in rank 3. For the Necrolords, you probably noticed I don't really recommend these for any of the mounts, and that's because the source is the same. You have to get the build in there to Exalted, and then once you're Exalted, you have to purchase it for 5,000 anima. The nice side is you only have to reach rank 1 with some of these. That's nice, but the 5,000 anima cost is quite high, especially when you're kind of starving for anima to build all these buildings up, and you've got a ton of stuff to buy with anima anyway. It just seems a little bit too high, but at least it is a nice guaranteed option. Like once you get Exalted, if you've got a ton of anima, you can just buy them all. You don't have to deal with anything else. So it's up to you, but these are my recommendations anyway. So now it's time to move on to the zones themselves. The first zone we're going to talk about will be Maldraxxus, and we'll focus on the zone drops to start out. The first drop we're going to talk about will be the Blisterback Bloodtusk, and this is going to drop from Warbringer Malkorok on around a 2% drop chance, and you'll find him at the very back end of the House of the Chosen. He does have a long-ish respawn, around an hour-ish, and you're only going to be able to kill him once per day per character. If you want a better chance, you'll bring ults here and just kill him over and over, well, once he respawns at least. And it is worth mentioning as well that this mount plus the next handful are going to be available to any Covenant, so if you kill this as Night Fae, you will still have the same chance for it to drop, and I will mention when we get to the Necrolord only stuff. The next mount is going to be the Gorespine, which is going to drop from Nerissa Heartless, and we'll find her way off kind of in the northeast of the zone in the House of Rituals, just kind of near the entrance of the House of Rituals. And once again, that's going to have a longish respawn, but it will have around a 2% drop chance. The next mount up is going to be the Hulking Deathroc, which drops from the Violet Mistake, and man, this rare was a mistake in general. This is going to cause you a bit of pain. So what you need to do is head over towards the House of Plagues, and there'll be a kind of introduction quest here here for you to do around a pool, and you'll have to throw some slime into the pool. Then what you need to do to get the rare to spawn is put a specific combination of slime into the pool. So for the violet mistake in particular, what we need to do is have an equal amount of blue and red and then a lower amount of yellow. So for example, 15 blue, 15 red and 0 yellow works, or for example 13 blue, 13 red and 4 yellow works. And you just do that until you've got all 30 slime in the pool. The mob will spawn, you'll kill it, and then you'll have around a 3 to 4% chance of getting the mount. What makes this annoying though is that pool is shared, so someone coming along just randomly can throw a random slime in and break everything for you. If they throw a yellow in when you don't want one, then you're done. You know, there's nothing you can do, you're gonna have to restart the whole process again. And getting the slime itself is a bit of a slow process because you have to go kill a mob, pick up the slime, run all the way back, put it in and repeat that 30 times. So getting this killed every day is going to be a bit of a pain. The next mount up is going to be the Battlebound Warhound, and this is going to drop from the arena in the center of Maldraxxus. You'll head there, there'll be kind of like a challenger mob in the middle, and as long as it's not Sabriel, all of the rest of them will have a chance of dropping the mount at around a 0.5 to 0.7% drop chance. You can only kill these mobs once per day per character for a chance at the mount, although there is a bit of kind of unclear information. So most people get it on their very first kill, so the first challenger they kill, they'll get the mount. Some people claim that they got it from their second, third or fourth kill because there are 4 challengers, so in theory you could have 4 attempts per day, but I've never seen anyone actually confirm with proof that they got it on their second, third or fourth kill. The only proof kills I've seen have been the first kill of the day, so it's up to you. You can either kill the very first challenger of the day and go from there and just keep killing that one every day, or you can wait for all 4 to spawn and, you know, give that a go if you don't want to take the risk. It's up to you. Either way, kill 1 to 4 challengers per day and you'll have a chance of getting them out. The next mount we're going to talk about will be the Callow Flayedwing, and this is going to drop from the kind of Flayedwing Chimera mobs that we'll find within Maldraxxus. So if you're after this mount, you should basically just be killing Flayedwings as you're playing through the content of the zone. But if you're after a farming spot, then one of the recommended spots is just to the west of the Theatre of Pain. There's going to be a bunch of them around here, and these will be called the Neonate Bonetooths. However, it's not actually going to be a mount drop. Instead, what you're going to get is an item called the Blight Touched Egg, and this is going to be an egg that will take 5 days to hatch in your bags. After 5 real-time days have passed, you'll open the egg and you will 100% chance get the mount. So if you do get the egg, make sure you don't throw it away. The next 3 rare drops we're going to be talking about will only drop if you're currently under the Necrolord Covenant. So if you kill these rares as non-Necrolord, the drop chance will be 0, so do keep that in mind. The first one up is going to be the Predatory Plagueroc, which is going to drop from a rare spawn called Giga, and this is going to only be killable if 1, you're Necrolord, and 2, you have the Anima Conductor available. So what you'll want to do is build the Anima Conductor building and then funnel the Anima for the day using the Anima Conductor over to the House of Constructs. So you'll just use the Anima Conductor table, you'll click over on the House of Constructs and that will start funneling Anima over there. Next up, we'll fly over there and you should see the rare kind of lay on a table, and there'll be this kind of like tentacle next to him on the same table, and you'll click it, you'll pull it, and that will activate the rare. It is worth mentioning that if someone else does activate the rare, as long as you're Necrolord, even if you haven't got an Anima Conductor, you will have a chance of getting the mount drop. The drop is around a 2% chance, and this is a daily lockout. The next one up is going to be the Armored Bonehoof Tauralus, and this is going to drop from Sabriel the Bone Cleaver. Now to activate this rare, you will need a rank 3 Anima Conductor, and will funnel Anima over to the Theatre of Pain. Once you're at the Theatre of Pain, on the right side of kind of the whole building, you'll find an NPC that will now give you a quest called Spoiling for a Fight. You'll pick up that quest, and this will now put Sabriel into the kind of arena rotation. So from here, what we'll do is go into the arena, and you'll kill a mob. You should now see Sabriel in kind of one of the bubbles. You'll kill all of the other mobs, and eventually Sabriel will come down. You'll kill that, and you will have a chance of getting that mount. The drop chance is going to be a bit lower, around a 1% drop chance, although there is an alternative method of obtaining this mount. Instead, you can just purchase it from the kind of renowned quartermaster within the Necrolord Order Hall, and this will cost you 5,000 Anima and 100 Grateful Offerings. So if you have a ton of those resources spare, that is an easier way of getting it. The next mount up is going to be the Bonehoof Tauralus, which is going to drop from a rare called Tahunter. We'll find Tahunter just kind of like to the left-ish side of the Theatre of Pain, and it doesn't have too long of a respawn. However, to get this mount drop, there is more steps than just being Necrolord, and this confused a lot of the player base at the start of the expansion. So what we need to do is have an NPC with us called Nina, and Nina is going to be one of the kind of abomination stitching friends that we can create, that we can use as kind of a bodyguard within the expansion. So to get this, what we'll need to do is get your abomination stitching building up to into rank 2. Once you have the build into rank 2, now we can do a quest chain with Nina, who we're going to find just below the House of Rituals at 7041. You'll go through that quest chain, you'll basically help put Nina into a body, and once Nina is now a recruitable follower that you can use, we can now kill to Hunter every day, and you'll need to make sure Nina's with you, and now you will have a chance of getting that mount. It is going to be on the lower end though, of around a 1% or below chance. The next mounts for us to talk about are going to be the Bulbous Necroray, the Infested Necroray, and the Pestilent Necroray. These are all going to drop from the Necroray egg, which is going to come from the boxes you'll get from the Maldraxxus emissary quests. Now, technically, it doesn't matter what covenant you are, because any of the emissaries that you do that involve Maldraxxus, so like aid in Maldraxxus or challenges in Maldraxxus, are going to give you either the tributes of the ambitious or the tribute of the duty bound. And from inside these chests, you'll have a low chance of getting one of these eggs, which when opened will guarantee you one of these 3 mounts. However, being Necrolord will give you more chances at these eggs, because any of the neutral missions, like going to the Moor, will instead just give you one of the Necrolord boxes instead. So being Necrolord's the better choice if you're targeting these mounts in particular. It is worth noting as well, I don't believe you can get duplicates, so once you get your hands on 3 Necrolord eggs, then you will have all of the 3 mounts you can get from this. It will take a few days for the egg to hatch, but once you have the egg, at least you know you will have a mount once it does hatch. The next mount to talk about will be the Colossal Slaughterclaw, which is going to be a Paragon mount, and I know Paragon mounts, we all love them. This is going to be a low chance from getting the Necrolord faction to Exalted, and then once you hit Exalted, you'll be able to continue gaining reputation, and every 10k past Exalted will allow you to pick up a Paragon chest. With the Necrolords, you'll get these supplies of the Undying Army, which will have around a 3% chance of giving you the mount. Now, in terms of gaining reputation with the faction, you're mainly going to be relying on world quests and the emissary quests or calling quests, whatever you want to call them, as those are going to be your biggest chunks of reputation. However, you will also be able to get some reputation from the various quests within the zone. If you want to put on a contract as well and do world quests in the other zones, you'll gain some reputation for that too. You will also have some of the quests in Korthia that can give you some reputation. For example, if you do the weekly quest in Korthia, that will give you some reputation with all of the factions. Finally, if you take part in the Moor Assault, which is the Necrolord one, which can happen every 2 weeks, this will gain you a chunk of reputation as well. Now, this is another one where being Necrolord in particular doesn't really matter. However, being Necrolord will give you more reputation because you will have access to the neutral call-ins like Go to the Moor, which will give you reputation with the covenant you currently are, which would be Necrolord in this case. So to min-max your reputation gains, you do want to make sure you are keeping an eye on those neutral quests and switching to Necrolord whenever there's one of those available. Also, once you hit Exalted, you'll be able to pick up the Lurid Bloodtusk for 30,000 gold from Nalcorn Talson, who we'll find in Maldraxxus, or Darvatish, who we'll find within Oribos. Next up, we'll be heading over to the Plaguefall dungeon on Heroic or Mythic solo. It doesn't matter which difficulty you choose, obviously Heroic is going to be easier, so if you want to make life easier for yourself, then do it on Heroic, but as a level 70 character, this shouldn't be too much of a challenge for you anyway. So we're going to head inside, and you need to kill every single boss solo, so you can't have anyone in your group or anything like that, and you can need to kill every boss. It used to be that you could skip the first 2 bosses and just kill the last 2, but that is not the case anymore. You have to kill every single one. So make sure you're going through. We kill the first boss. There's not really anything you need to know about any of these bosses. As I said, at level 70, they're not really going to be any kind of threat. So we're just going to kill the first boss, we'll move to the second boss, we'll kill that. We'll kill the third spider boss. You'll jump down, you'll kill the final boss, and then once that boss is dead, you want to turn around and head back to the section where you kind of initially fell down to enter this section of the dungeon. There'll be a button that you can click on the right. That's going to teleport you all the way back up to the top where we fought the third boss. You're going to walk forward, and on the left side where the lava, or the slime pool I should say is, you should see the slime serpent in the slime pool, not the lava pool, and you'll be able to click that and get yourself the mount in your mount journal. Finally, for Maldraxxus, we'll be moving on to Necrolord specific stuff such as their campaigns, their buildings, things like that. The first one to talk about will be the Warbred Tauralus, and this will come from the main campaign chapters for Necrolords, which will be the second chapter, Enemy at the Door. And then similar, the Armored Warbred Tauralus will come from the 9th chapter of the Necrolord campaign. Next up, we'll have the mounts that come from Renown unlocks. We'll have the Plagueroc Tauralus, which you'll be able to purchase once you hit Renown 23. You'll be able to pick that up from the Renown Quartermaster for for 5k anima, and then once you hit 39 renown, you will get the Armored Plagueroc Tauralus, although this one doesn't need to be purchased, you should just get this automatically in your bags, although for whatever reason if you don't, it is also on the Renowned Quartermaster to purchase as well. Then at Renowned 45, you'll get the Maldraxxian Corpsefly, which will automatically go in your bags as well, no need for purchase. And then we also will have the Regal Corpsefly, which you unlock at Renowned 70, and this will require 7.5k anima to purchase from the Renowned Quartermaster. Next up will be the Stitchworks building. There'll be 2 Necrolord specific amounts we can get from this. The first will be the Chosen Tauralus, and it will require you to do the achievement, The Gang's All Here. And basically this is just to craft all of the various different constructs available. Now this will take a bit of work, there will be some quest lines you'll need to do, and it will take multiple weeks because you are going to be limited on the resources you get. There are going to be weekly quests you'll get, and what I would recommend doing when you start on the Stitchworks is create the cheapest constructs first, because these are going to give you more access to quests, which means more resources, which means you can build things faster. But this will take a few weeks to get them all done. The next mount up will be the Armored Chosen Tauralus, and this will come from the meta achievement Things to Do When You're Dead. And one of these sub achievements we need to do for this is The Gang's All Here, so getting this achievement done will kind of work you towards 2 mounts anyway. And then the other 3 achievements we need to do will be Abominable Lives, which is to complete all of the various different quests from all of the constructs. You'll need to build them all and then do their various weekly quests. This will be somewhat RNG because you don't know what quest you're going to get week to week. You will have to keep coming back and doing all the quests until this is done. The next achievement up is It's a Wrap, and this one's quite straightforward. You'll unlock the Abominable Crafting, and you'll get 200 Shrouded Cloth, and you'll create 100 Anima Bound Wraps, and then there'll be this kind of Spectre of War nearby, a quest. You can go over to that, and you'll just keep handing in the resources until you've done 100, and there you go, that's that one done. The final one, however, is going to be Wardrobe Makeover, and this is going to require quite a bit of work, because it's going to be locked behind kind of certain constructs. You'll have to buy them from it, or you have to go do certain quest lines, or there'll be certain rares that you need to kill. There's going to be a ton of different cosmetics for you to kill, so there's going to be a lot of requirements behind these, but I'll have a link to a post down below that has them all listed, and so you can kind of work through those. This will take you some time to do though. And then once the 4 achievements are done, you will get yourself that Armored Plagueroc Tauralus. And then while you're completing the weekly quest, you will be gaining reputation with the construct yard as well, and once you hit exalted with the construct yard, it will allow you to purchase the kind of 4 neutral mounts that we talked about earlier, and these will cost 5,000 anima each. So it's a nice kind of guaranteed way of getting the mounts, but it is more pricey on the anima side, and it will take you quite a bit of time to get exalted as well. Next up, we'll be moving over to Ardenweald, and we'll start off by talking about the mounts that can drop from the zone itself. And the first mount up will be the Wildseed Cradle. To obtain this mount, we need to get our hands on 5 items that can be found within the Garden of Night. So we want to head over there, and the first item up will be the Gardener's Basket. This will be on the north side of the Garden of Night. It'll just be to the left of the small pond. The second item we need is the Gardener's Hammer, and that will be found just slightly south of the Gardener's Basket. Just before the ramp, to the right side of the ramp, you'll find a broken cart, and we'll find the Gardener's Hammer in the cart. The third item is the Diary of Night, and that ramp that we passed by a moment ago that should now be on our left, you want to head up that ramp, follow the path around, and eventually you'll find a bench. On that bench should be the book, and we can loot the book for the Diary of the Night. The next item we need is the Gardener's Flute, so we're going to jump down from where we just got the Diary of the Night. You're going to head a little bit south, and on the right hand side you should see some mobs and a big like dream seeds in the corner, and the flute is just going to be in front of those seeds. You'll see it right here where I'm showing you now. The final item we need is the Gardener's Wand, and that is going to be on the very south end of the Garden of Night, and you're going to find it underneath this completed cart in the corner. You'll just click under the cart, get your wand, and now we have 5 items. Now that we have our 5 items, you'll be able to click one of them, and that will turn it into the Twinkle Stars Gardening Toolkit. Once we have that, we can head over to Turn of Val, which we'll find on the right side of the zone. We'll head over there, and just near the flight path will be Twinkle Star. You'll speak to Twinkle Star, you'll be able to hand in the toolkit, and now you'll get a buff, and that buff is going to allow you to see in kind of like a darker version of the zone. Right nearby should be a cache of the moon that you can loot. You'll loot that cache and you will get yourself the mount. The next mount in Ardenweald will be the Shimmermist Runner, and what we need to do for this is complete a maze in a specific way. So on the left side of Ardenweald, you'll find the start of the maze, which is at the top of this ramp area I'm showing you now. So you want to head to this large section, and don't go down the ramp just yet, because that's going to kind of be the start of the maze. So once we enter this archway, this is the first kind of archway we need to pass through, and as you pass through it, you should notice the blue lanterns. That's what we're looking for throughout the maze, so if you ever get a little bit confused, just keep an eye out for these blue lanterns specifically, and they'll be guiding your way to the next place. So the first stage is to follow this ramp all the way down to the bottom, and you'll take the first left that's going to be available to you. Once again, keep an eye out for those blue lanterns. You'll pass through the left archway and we'll move towards past these kind of elite mobs on the sides. Once you pass the elite mob, you should see an archway on the right. We're going to walk through that one. And then we're going to follow this in a little bit and you should see another archway on the left. So we're going to walk through that one. We'll follow this in a little and you'll see an archway immediately to your right. We're going to move through that one. And now you'll enter an area with multiple archways. It's the archway on the very far right that we want to move towards. So go to the far right archway. Pass through that. As I said, once again, be paying attention for those blue lanterns. And now we'll be in the final section and there'll be 3 options. We want the center option. You'll walk through the center one and this should lead you to an open area. And if you've done it correctly, you'll see Shizgear kind of towards the back with the Shimmermist Runner next to him. From here, as a level 70 character, all you need to do is quickly kill down Shizgear, click on the mount and get yourself that in your inventory. If the mob isn't available, you've either done the maze wrong and he's phased out, so you need to go right back to that beginning section before the ramp and do it again, or he's been killed recently and you will need to wait around 1 to 2 hours for it to respawn again. But once you've done the maze correctly once, that's it, you never have to do the maze again. Nearby we can get our next mount, which is going to be the Spinemaw Gladechewer. This is going to be a 100% drop chance from a rare called Gorm Tamer Tizo, and to get this rare to spawn, what we need to do is kill these Spriggan mobs called the Bristlecone. There'll be Bristlecone Terrors, Bristlecone Bone Breakers. You just want to run around this area and kill these Spriggans here. It may take you a while, it may take you a few minutes or a couple of hours, but eventually you will get the Gorm Tamer to spawn. You should see it announced. And you'll go over there, you'll kill it, and you'll get yourself that mount. While you're killing the Spriggans, you should be looting them as well, because you may get an item that can spawn another rare that can give us a mount too, which is going to be the Arboreal Gulper. This is another mount that will come at 100% drop chance, but we do need to make the rare spawn. The item that we need for that is the unusually large mushroom, which can drop from pretty much any mob within Ardenweald. That's why it's best to do the Spinemaw Gladechewer first, because you may have the item drop while you're doing that. Once you do get the item, it will be on a 20-minute timer, but that's plenty of time to get it done. I would definitely recommend prioritizing this once you do get it dropped though. So take your mushroom over to the damp loam area, and here we'll find kind of a patch where we can place the mushroom. It shouldn't take long if someone's done this recently, it should be like 5 or so minutes for it to respawn again. So if you head over there straight away, that's no problem. You'll use it and you'll spawn a mob called Humongous. That rare will spawn, you'll kill it, and from it you'll get a 100% chance at the Arboreal Gulper. The next mount up for us to talk about will be the Swift Gloomhoof, and to obtain this we have to go through some kind of hidden items and do some quest chains. It is all Shadowlands based though, and is pretty easy as a level 70 character, even the mob we have to kill at the end, so you should have no issues. It doesn't matter what covenant you picked for this either, doesn't matter if you're Night Fae or one of the other ones, you can still get this mount. So first things first, we need to get our hands on the cracked soul web, and this is going to be all the way to the left hand side of Ardenweald. We'll find Turner Scythe, and there'll be a broken cart on a kind of ledge. If you're able to fly, you can just fly straight up to this. If you're not able to fly, you are going to have to do a bit of parkour, as you can see here, and make your way onto this ledge. I would just recommend getting your hands on a Goblin Glider kit, as it's going to take away a lot of the kind of difficulty of getting over to the platform. Once you make your way up, go over to the broken cart, and on the ground you'll find the cracked soul web that you can loot, which will give you the broken soul web item. The next stage is to get the soul web repaired, and to do that we need an NPC called Elder Gwenna in Glitterfall Basin within Ardenweald. Now, if you've done some quests in Ardenweald before, you may already have this NPC unlocked, so I would definitely check Glitterfall Basin before you do anything else. And if she's not there, then you need to figure out what you've done or not done. The first question you need to have done is Trouble at Gromlin Coral, and that will start at Glitterfall Basin anyway, so if you have a quest there called Trouble in the Banks, then you need to start that, and you'll have 7 quests to go through, with the last one being Well Tell the Lady. Once you've done all that, you should now have another quest chain you can start within Glitterfall Basin, and that'll be Ages of Echoing Wisdom. You'll pick that up, and it'll lead on to Idle Hands, The Sweat Off Our Brow, Craftsman Needs No Tools, Spirit Gathering Labor, The Games We Play, and finally Outplayed. Once that is all done, the NPC we need should now be in Glitterfall Basin, that'll be Elder Gwenna, and you'll be able to speak to them to repair the soul web. Now for that you will need 10 lightless silk. You might have even got enough from just killing all the Spriggans and stuff, but if you don't, you can purchase off the auction house for very, very cheap if you don't have it already. Now if for some reason the NPC won't allow you to do this, or it's still not there, do try logging out and logging back in and seeing if that does fix it for you. The next stage is to speak to Ysera within the heart of the forest, and if you're Night Fae you can just go straight into your Covenant Hall and she'll be in the middle section. If you're not Night Fae though, you won't be allowed in, so what we're going to do instead is speak to one of the guards outside of the heart of the forest, and they'll have an option for you to make Ysera come outside. You'll speak to her and you'll be able to get her to repair the soul web, although if you're on a mount it won't work, so do make sure you dismount first. With Ysera spoke to, she should have given you the item the Dreamcatcher, and that's the final thing we need. Next up is just finding the Nightmare mob, which will drop us the Swift Gloomhoof on a 100% drop chance. We'll find that once again in Ardenweald. We'll head over to the Hibernal Hollow, and on the outskirts of here you'll use the Dreamcatcher item, which will give you a debuff allowing you to kind of see into the void, and you'll want to run around here until you do find Nightmare. Now if it's been killed recently, we'll have to wait a little bit for the respawn, but once it's up, you can kill this very easy as a level 70 character, and you will get yourself that mount. The next mount to talk about will be the Wildglimmerfur Prowler, and this is only going to be available if you're a Night Fae player, but I believe once you get it, any Covenant can use it. Now this is going to have two sources. The first is it'll be a rare drop from a mob called Valthyr the Unrelenting, and the way this rare works is it's going to be kind of immune to some degree to damage. It's going to have like a dodge debuff or buff, and to get rid of that buff, what you need to do is upgrade your Anima Conductor as Night Fae to rank 3, and then you'll funnel Anima over to Turner Scythe. You'll head over there on the path I'm showing you now. There'll be the seed we can click. You'll click that. If the mob's up, the seed will be available, and that will remove its debuff and you can kill it. Now at max level though, level 70, I've not tried this so I can't confirm, but I believe you might just be able to kill him. Like without getting your Anima Conductor, I think you might be able to go over there and just kill him, and then you'll still have a chance at the mount, but don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. I just think that should work in my head. Now if you do kill him, regardless of the method, you should have around a plus 1% chance of getting the mount. I did mention there is another way of getting this mount, and we can simply purchase it. If you're Night Fae, you'll head over to the Covenant Sanctum. There'll be an NPC there called Elwyn, and we'll be able to purchase it for 5k Anima and 75 offerings. Next up will be the Silky Shimmermoth, and this is available to any Covenant, but it is going to be a little bit more difficult to get as any Covenant because you do need a Night Fae to be able to kind of activate what we need. So the way this works is you need to complete an achievement called Ardenweald's a Stage, which is to do the 7 different performances at the amphitheater. Now every day there's going to be a different performance, so you'll have to head out there, kill whatever performance it is for the day, and then you'll do that 7 times, you'll get the achievement and be able to purchase it. However, to start the performance, this is where we need a Night Fae player. What they'll do is get their Anima Conductor to rank 1, they'll funnel Anima over to the amphitheater, they'll head out there, they'll talk to the NPC near the stage, and that'll activate the fight for the day. So if you're not going to be a Night Fae, it's probably going to be difficult to get your kill for the day. Either way, get your hands on these 7 different performance kills, which should take you at minimum 7 days, and then behind the crowd there'll be an NPC there called Master Clerk Salon, and they'll sell you the mount for 5k Anima. Next up will be the Zones Rep, the Wild Hunt. Once you get this to Exalted, you'll be able to purchase the Dusk Flutter Ardenmoth for 30,000 gold, and then Reputation past that, so Paragon Rep every 10k past Exalted, you'll have a chance of getting the Amber Ardenmoth from that box. In terms of getting Reputation, going to be pretty much the same as Maldraxxus. You'll get it from quests in the zone, from world quests, from using the contract and doing world quests in any of the Shadowlands zones. You'll do your call-ins that are specific to Ardenweald, or you'll do the neutral ones while you're under Night Fae, and then you'll head to the Moor as well, and once the Night Fae Assault is active, you'll take part in that too. Next up, we'll be moving on to all the Night Fae specific stuff. So the first mount up here will be the Dreamlight Runestag, and this comes from the storyline intro. So once you pick Night Fae, you'll be forced to go and do a performance that takes quite a while. Once that performance is done, you'll be awarded with the mount. The second mount up will be the Enchanted Dreamlight Runestag, and this comes from the very end of the Night Fae campaign once you do Rust and Ashes, which is the last quest, so you'll get your mount from that. The next one will be the Shade Leaf Runestag, and once you hit Renown 23, you'll be able to purchase this for 5k Anima from Elwyn. Then we'll have the Enchanted Shade Leaf Runestag, which once you hit Renown 39, you'll just get it instantly in your bags with no purchase needed. Then we'll have the Ardenweald Wildling Harness, also known as the Noodle, and once you hit Renown 45, you'll get that instantly in your bags as well. Next up, we'll have the Autumnal Wildling Harness, and once you hit Renown 70 with Night Fae, you'll be able to purchase this from Elwyn for 7.5k Anima. The next two mounts, the Winterborn Runestag and the Umbral Scythe Horn, are going to come from the same sources, which is getting a Night Fae specific reputation called the Court of Night to Revered. Once you hit Revered, you'll be able to purchase them from an NPC called Spindlenoose, who will find in Hibernal Hollow, and these will cost you 5k Anima plus 5 offerings per mount. Now in terms of getting reputation with the Court of Night, as I mentioned, this is going to be pretty Night Fae specific because all of the sources are related to the Anima Conductor. So I mentioned earlier about the performance that takes place at the amphitheater. Doing that every day will give you 500 reputation. If you send your Anima Conductor over to Hibernal Hollow, you'll get some daily quests there that give 750 reputation a day, and chances are there'll be 2 dailies available there, so you'll get 1.5k per day for doing that. If you send your Anima Conductor over to Turnaval, you'll get 1000 reputation from the world quest that's available there. If you send your Anima Conductor over to Glitterfall Basin, there'll be a treasure that you can activate, and that'll give you 500 rep when opened. So as you progress your kind of base and you get more points where you can put your Anima Conductor, this will give you more opportunities of gaining reputation. Although the 1.5k rep from the dailies means you're going to get this done fairly quickly, it's not going to take ages. The daily quests are quite quick as well, so this isn't going to be something you can expect to be grinding for months at least. The next 2 mounts are going to have the same source as well, and that is going to be the Vibrant Flutterwing and also the Enchanted Winterborn Runestag. Once you hit Revered with the Marasmus reputation, you'll be able to purchase these for 5k anima each. In terms of what that reputation is, it's tied to the transportation network for Night Fae, so you'll unlock that system, you'll be sent to kind of this like mushroom realm once you've done the quests. You'll unlock this kind of mushroom realm, and there'll be an NPC there that'll give you a quest every day, and the higher you unlock your transportation network, you will get another quest for each level, and these quests will give more reputation as well. So ideally you'd get it to rank 3, and you're going to be getting 3 quests that are going to be giving you a ton of rep. However, I would say leave this to last, because at least you're still going to be progressively gaining reputation as long as you have rank 1 with this, and you'll just slowly gain rep, and you might not need to take it all the way up to 3 by the time you're done with everything else, because all the other buildings are going to be quite anima hungry and also quite soul hungry as well. The last mounts are going to come from the Queen's Conservatory, which is another building we can unlock with anima and souls, and there's going to be a few mounts we can get for this, but the 2 Night Fae specific ones are going to be the Awakener's Runestag, which will need an Untamed Spirit and 2 Wildseed Root Grains for, and then there'll be the Enchanted Awakener's Runestag, which will need an Untamed Spirit for and 4 times Wildseed Root Grains. So to give a little bit more info on these 2 things, first of all, the Untamed Spirit can be any rarity, although the higher the rarity of the seed, the better chance you've got of getting the mounts. And then in terms of what the Wildseed Root Grains are, this is something you can purchase from an NPC. You can plant them and you'll just be able to loot them. In terms of where we're going to get our spirits from, including the Untamed Spirits, you'll want to head to the Moor, unfortunately, and doing quests with Venari here will have a chance of giving you souls or spirits. So that's going to be your best source for getting those, so I would recommend knocking those out daily while you're Night Fae specific. If you're not Night Fae when you're doing those dailies, then you won't get these spirits. So you've got your spirits and you've got your root grain. What do you do next? Well, the higher you unlock your Queen's Conservatory, the more plots you're going to gain access to. By default, you'll have like 1 spirit plot plus some of the root grains plots, and then as you take it to rank 5, that's when you'll finally unlock the kind of main plot in the middle, which will have access to 4 root grain plots around it, which means you won't have access to the Enchanted Awakener's Runestag until you take your Queen's Conservatory all the way up to rank 5. But the Awakener's Runestag we will have access to fairly early. So what it'll do is place down your Untamed Spirit, and then you'll put the root grains to the left and right of it, so it's kind of connecting to that spirit, and that's all we need to do for the Awakener's Runestag. Once you do eventually unlock rank 5, you'll put your spirit in the center bit, and then you'll put the 4 root seeds around it, so it's kind of all connecting to that one place. As I mentioned earlier in the video as well, this is going to be a good source for getting your hands on some of those neutral mounts as well. So for example, if we throw down a Dutiful Spirit in the central plot where we have the 4 kind of grains that can attach to it, we'll have a chance of getting that Dauntless Dusk Runner. If we put down a Martial Spirit, we'll have a chance of getting the Gruesome Flayedwing. With an Untamed Spirit, we have a chance of the Pale Acid Maw, and a Pride Tool Spirit will have a chance of the Silver Tip Dreadwing. So this is a great kind of set and forget. You'll put down your spirit, you'll come back a few days once it's kind of grown, and then you'll open it and hopefully you've got one of those mounts from that. It is worth noting as well that if you do change covenants, these spirits will still continue to grow, so you do not need to remain Night Fae while this happens. That brings us to the end of part 1. In part 2, we'll be moving over to cover Revendreth and Bastion, so look forward to that episode coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.